Today is February 28, 2019. It's good to be back. Good to be back with all of you all. And I hope you had a good Valentine's last week. So it's the tradition of this board and boards all across our country. We do a couple of things at the beginning of our meetings. We have a Pledge of Allegiance. And another thing we do is we have what's called a solemnizing prayer. And not to leave you all out, but solemnizing prayers are for the commissioners. It's important to us because what we do we think has great importance. And so it's a time for us to humble ourselves, to ask for answers, and to make decisions that are in the best interest of this community. And so we'll have our chaplain come forward, and commissioners, if you'll join me, we'll get started.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day you provided for us, and thank you that we can come tonight. And on behalf of the county commissioners, thank you for the good work they're doing, Lord. Thank you for the preparation they've made for this meeting tonight, Lord. Pray that you'll just give them the wisdom they need. Thank you for those who are in attendance tonight, Lord. Thank you for Rowan County, Lord. Thank you for the privilege to live in Rowan County, Lord. And we pray blessings upon this county, Lord. Blessings upon this meeting tonight. Again, give them the wisdom they need. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chaplain Taylor. Always good to see you. All right, so as we refer to our agenda, I think Commissioner Pierce, you have an addition to the agenda?
Yes, sir. Each commissioner got a copy of this added to your paperwork. Basically, this is a request for the consideration of the Board of Commissioners to amend the interlocal agreement between the county and the TDA for the Rail Walk Pavilion project in downtown Salisbury. They're simply asking to have the first payment deferred because we've run into some additional spending that we didn't anticipate because of soil, as well as the prices of the steel have escalated because of the delay, and I'd like to add that to the consent agenda.
All right, we'll add that as item M. Are there any other additions? Oh, yep, go ahead.
I'd like to add, Mr. Chairman, the memorandum of understanding for between Rowan County for the Rowan County Veterans Memorial Project.
All right, we'll add that as item N, and that'll be consent.
If that's okay with the board.
Yeah.
I can't vote on that. Remember, I discussed that with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, Commissioner Caskey, I was just telling Chairman Edds that I have to recuse myself on this memorandum because I have a relative that is on that monument, and I don't think it's fair that I spend that money based on family issues.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to recuse myself. But
Do active then?
That's fine.
All right, so we'll add that as, let's call that item 4A. Yep, we'll call that item 4A. And then as far as deletions from the agenda, we're going to pull item J on the consent. We're going to put that on the active agenda and call that item 4B, if that's okay.
Yep.
So we can discuss that just a little bit. All right, so with those three changes, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
so moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, then been provided with the minutes of February 4th. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Then we have the amended consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda is amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, public comment. We have anyone for public comment?
Two.
Oh, two. All right, first, Bill Gadare. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Commissioners. It's an honor for me to be here, and I'd like to go on record as saying that I love and appreciate every one of you, and thank you for all that you do for our county. And thank you. I pray every day that God just gives you wisdom beyond your years, because I feel like that we're in a very exciting time in the life of our county, and I'm just pumped about it.
Thank you.
A few years back, however long it's been, a couple of years back, 3-4 years, we made a commitment, myself along with Cornerstone Church, to give $10,000 toward the county commissioners. That's when then the head county commissioner was Mr. Jim Sides. And we brought forth that check, and at the time was told that the county could not receive those funds. And I hate to just keep dragging something on, but I feel like that my character has been attacked. And I know that, you know, the old saying is, a bulldog can whip a skunk, but it's not worth it. You know, but I've sat back for like 3 months, and I just thought, the last time I was in Fiji reading about it, and I thought, I've got to say something, you know, because all the people doing the writing never asked me my opinion or never asked me what was done or said or nothing. I don't know if it's fake news or just lying news. I don't know. It's just not real news. But anyway, nobody never asked me, so I called our office today. I'm off today, and I asked them to give me a printout of exactly what we spent on behalf, because what I told Mr. Sides was that if they could not take the $10,000, that we would spend $10,000 backing the county commissioners and promoting them, and that's what we did. We put a billboard on Peach Orchard Road. Matter of fact, we put 4 in Rowan County, 3 in Kannapolis, and then we bought 1,000 T-shirts, and we actually spent $11,045. So all those people out there that's bashing us, they owe us $1,045. I don't know if they'll ever pay us the difference or not, but anyway, and we would do it again. And I thank you. I thank you for standing. I do, because what the old saying is, the only thing for evil men to gain or prosper is for good men not to do anything. And I firmly believe that, you know what, we may have lost a couple $100,000. That's nothing to the God that we serve. And I believe that the favor that we gained by just standing up was well worth it. I say thank you. If I could ever support you in any way, let me know. God bless.
Thank you, Bill. All right, next, Derry Amos. Thanks for being here tonight.
I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to speak tonight, and in recognition of your busy agenda, I will keep my comments brief as they will require time for the board to investigate the issues. I've been a business owner and operator at the county airport for well over a decade now. Myself and fellow business owners have a strong record of partnering with both county management as well as Airport Advisory Board. Together, we have worked to establish active and growing airport environment. We have opened our doors and wallets to support the community and understand the vital role the airport plays for the county and its economic development. However, in the past year, we have seen both the culture and environment of the airport become somewhat toxic, with local business, employee, and hangar tenants being subjected to threats, unprofessional behavior. There seems to be a wide disparagement of treatment of individual businesses with no reason being offered. A few examples include select businesses are allowed to store customer aircraft in GA hangars while forbidding other businesses. Some flight schools are given hangars while others are not, and certain tenants are being allowed to sublease. Contracts, which should be a matter of public record, are either not available or incomplete. How they are enforced seem to vary greatly, with certain businesses operating under no agreement or verbal agreements. We have attempted to work out the issue with several levels of county management, but we have been unable to resolve the issues. Multiple requests have been submitted about the history and authenticity of addendum that was emailed on one business in question. It has been over a month, and we still yet have received an answer on the document in question. Given the wide disparagement of treatment and contracts, some of us are at a competitive disadvantage versus our competitors. We're asking the county commissioner's advice on how to have these issues investigated and rectified. We do not know whether you would like to do it yourselves, appoint someone, or perhaps refer it to the State Board of Investigation if some of these concerns public documents, contracts, and wide disparagement of enforcement. We, of course, would be willing to work with the commissioners and restore the airport business community back to its previous culture of growth and partnership. In closing, I'd like to thank you for your time, and Mr. Church for helping an elderly hangar tenant in a matter that rose earlier in the year at the airport.
All right, Mr. Amos, thank you very much. All right, those are the only two that signed up. So we'll move now to item number 3, and I'll turn it over to Judy.
Yes, we have an update tonight from our Smart Start friends. And they have a very special guest that they've brought along. And I will let them introduce themselves. And when they are done speaking for a short amount of time, then I'd like to have a picture with them. And you'll understand why when the special guest is introduced.
You may recognize her.
She's a pretty important person, pretty famous person. Thank you for having us here tonight. We appreciate you adding us to the agenda and for Judy inviting us. We are from Smart Start Rowan, and for those of you who aren't familiar with us, we serve all children in this community ages birth through 5 and their families to ensure school readiness, to ensure hopeful success in school and later in life, and we do it in 4 main areas. I'm going to touch on those briefly and then let Mary speak with you about our early literacy Where's Dolly campaign. Before I talk about those 4 main areas, let me introduce our guests and let me introduce myself. My name is Amy Brown. I'm the Executive Director of Smart Start Rowan. I have with me Mary Burridge, our Family Outreach Program Lead. We just changed her title, so I have to remember what it is. With Mary is her daughter Greenlee, who is in the 2nd grade at Boston Elementary. And we also have our board chair, Sue Harrington, who is a former principal at Woodleaf Elementary, and we have Dolly, of course, and everybody knows who Dolly is. So our 4 main areas of service are our early care and education work. We work with child development centers and licensed family child care homes to ensure high quality of care for young children who are enrolled in care. We also have some very strong family support programs because we believe and we know that parents are their children's first and most important teacher. So the stable, nurturing home environment is important for our work. We also do some child health and wellness programming out in the community to ensure proper health and readiness for our young children and their families. And then we also do some early literacy work. We have a really strong evidence-based model called Reach Out and Read that takes place in our pediatrician offices. And then we have our early literacy program that is new, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program, which Mary will tell you about.
Thank you for having us tonight. So Dolly is with us to talk about the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library program. A couple weeks ago, we started a campaign called Where's Dolly? There was an article in the Salisbury Post. And it's just to bring awareness to this program. So the Imagination Library program provides books to children in the county, age birth to 5, free book every month in the mail. So all they have to do is sign up. There's absolutely no cost to the family. My son, who is not here because he would be extremely grumpy at this point in the evening, also receives those books, and he is just ecstatic. And his older sister loves to read said books to him, so it's very good. Currently, we have about almost 2,400 enrolled, 2,400 children enrolled in the county. And we have nearing 400 graduates, so that means that they have already entered kindergarten, so the books have stopped coming to them. However, we do know that there are over 9,000 children in that age range in the county, so we have plenty more books to give. So we really want to bring awareness to this program. We want to get books into the hands of all these children. Literacy is so important in reading and just all the magic that a book brings and all that it can do for a child. So that's why I'm here tonight with Dolly. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you, Mary and Amy.
Before we do a picture, Sue is going to hand out some information about what Smart Start does and the Dolly campaign.
Yeah. When we think about success in bringing industry to our county, we know that our people need to, number one, read, to be able to read. And the programs that Smart Start offers our county are just really outstanding. And Smart Start staff and I serve on their board, and we need to get the word out, and churches, through family organizations. The story that I understand how this all came together was that Dolly's father was illiterate. And she started this program because she didn't want anyone else to have to go through that. So, well, okay? Okay, picture time.
And you will see Dolly all over the county. She's at a different location every week.
Every week.
She started out in the Henderson Law Office across from the library. Spent last week at Nazareth.
Child and Family Connection. Yeah.
She is here tonight. She'll be at the Power and Partnership Breakfast Thursday morning at Trinity Oaks.
I'd like to volunteer in my office.
I'll let you fight Dr. Moody for her, because they get her the first week in March. So we'll add you to the schedule. Awesome.
She said they changed my title. She forgot to add Dolly's tour manager, 'cause that's what I do.
So how do you want to do it?
We'd like to get a picture so we can use this and show our county that we, as commissioners, are very dedicated to make sure that our children know how to read.
All right.
So however you want to do it. Mary, you're actually the agent, so go ahead.
Well, anything I say after that will get me in trouble, so we'll just move on to the next item. All right, financial report, number 4. So, Leslie?
The first chart again shows annual cumulative revenue comparisons for year-to-date through January compared to the prior 3 fiscal years. And so far in revenue, we have booked $88 million, which is 62% of budget, which is exactly what it's been at this point in time for the prior 3 fiscal years. So that's right where I would expect it to be. The next slide shows cumulative expenditure comparisons, and we have spent $75.4 million, which is 48% of budget, and that is also in line with prior years. We will, as I've said in the past, debt service is in the second part of the year, and that's significant dollars. So that's why we're only at 48. The next slide shows current year property tax, and we have collected $61.3 million, which is 76% of budget. It's an increase of $500,000 over prior year, and again, that's in line with the prior 3 fiscal years. The next slide shows sales tax, and sales tax is at 35% of budget. in 2018, where we were at 33%, 2017, 34%. So again, we're in line. Sales tax dollars are up this year and greater than 10%. We have not hit that month where the nonprofits are being paid their sales tax refund. So that will be a hit, but our dollars are certainly up in sales tax.
You hadn't hit December's either, though, have you?
Excuse me?
I say December's revenues haven't come in yet either, have they?
Correct. We do not have that figure. I mean, this is through, because they run so late, you know, people pay sales tax and then we basically get them 75 days after that. This is only through October.
Leslie, I have a question. It's my understanding that, I don't know if it's the federal government, Congress is passing a law or has to make sure that mail order companies like Amazon are paying sales tax in the state where the quote package is going. Is that true? And how will that affect us?
Supposedly there are collections. I mean, they're seeing that at the state level. I'm not seeing it here. We have talked to the state, and sales tax across the state is up, but they didn't really give us an explanation. And so quite a few of the sales tax, local sales tax that are levied are per capita. So they take all sales taxes collected across the state. It all goes to Raleigh, and then it's split out per capita. Our point of sales are running higher than last year, but not to the same extent, not up as much as the per capita. And the last slide just shows the monthly sales tax comparisons. So you can see it varies from month to month, but obviously 2019, which is in red, is above the prior 3 fiscal years. So far, that's a very happy occurrence. That's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Does this reflect the new sales tax on labor that was implemented a few years ago?
It does.
Okay, so it's in these numbers now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we don't need to pass a motion on that or anything, but thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's see. So item 4A, and then I didn't write them down, but I think 4A was,
When you pulled off the consent agenda.
yep, that's right, thank you. So that was approval to award contract for radio communications. Huh?
I think
No, that was
the
4B. 4A is yours, isn't it, Mike? Yep, sorry.
Okay, my bad.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Each of you, I think, received a copy of this last week in the email, and you have a copy before you. But basically, this is a memorandum of understanding between the county, the city, and Ronnie Smith, who is the contact person for the Rowan County Vietnam Veterans Memorial Project. Basically, what we're asking the county, as they're part of this understanding, is that we would facilitate some funds towards this project. In meetings that we've had with city officials, with Mr. Smith, Aaron has had contact with the city manager. We have a memorandum here that all parties seem to agree on. Already signed his copies. And basically, the main, what the county would be responsible for would be $10,000 towards the monument, which is in line with the what we did before for the previous monument over there. And I'll say this has been an ongoing project for many years. I know that we haven't really had a major role in the project up to this point, but I can tell you that it is very important to many members of the veterans community. As Mr. Smith's been up here many times to talk to us. And I think we're at a point where we can finally get this put to rest and get that get the monument up and have a memorial to those veterans from Rowan that gave their lives, including I think one of Craig's relatives here. So what I'm just asking today is if we could approve this memorandum of understanding, and then Chairman Eds would sign it afterwards, and then it would go to the city for their approval. And so you have any questions?
Thank you, Commissioner. Is that a motion?
And I'll make that form of a motion, yes.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? Should we vote on it tonight, Ronnie, or should we put it off? All right, no other discussion. All in favor of passing this memorandum of understanding, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. All right, Ronnie. All right, then item 4B, is that what it was?
Contract.
Yeah, 4B is going to be, it was from the consent agenda, approval to award the contract for radio communications. If we recall, there's some, well, let me just turn this over to Aaron. I asked that it be pulled because on our consent agenda, the cost of this consultant was a lot of money. So I asked Aaron, is this something that we could possibly negotiate with the consultant? Aaron felt like it was, so I just asked if we would pull it. And I'd like to make a motion that the commissioners give our county manager the authority to try to negotiate down the cost of this contract.
Second.
Right? Any questions for that? Again, it was on consent agenda. I don't know that we can negotiate it down, but I'd like to give the county manager the opportunity to try to do that. All right, no other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. All right, we have budget amendments. Item number 5 were provided for us. Do we have a motion to approve the budget amendments as
So moved.
provided?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Let's see.
The TEA item, was that added to consent? Okay, consent.
Madam Clerk, do we have any board appointments? Because it's on the agenda, but I don't think we have any, do we?
I don't see any.
Oh, that's all right. All right, so we don't have any board appointments then, so,
To adjourn.
Second.
all right. Anything else for the cause? All right, if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.